we interrupt your regular YouTube viewing for the absolutely, completely random podcast with Andrew Rhodes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the absolutely, completely random podcast for Saturday, January 5th, 2019. That's right, the first podcast of the year. Woo! Finally happened. Yeah, my voice is still not fully back yet, but it's better than it was last week. I'm Andrew Rhodes, and even though I was sick this week, I still managed to find a couple topics. There really wasn't that much this week and too much of it that came out. So what am I going to be talking about? Well, I'm going to be talking about the real-life looking One Piece characters that were created for an ad. An Indeed ad. I'm not even kidding. Nintendo has officially started off the year by shooting down Bowsette. Oh, here we go again. Kingdom Hearts 3 co-director is citing a new engine as the reason for the delay, and a few other mystery topics, because I have to find them as we go, because I was sick this week, like I said. But either way, it's still going to be kind of interesting. So, that's what I got right now. And for those of you that are new to the podcast, this is usually where we play the wonderful game of shameless self-promotion. So if you're in the market for oddities, weird stuff, what have you, check out my eBay page, ARHOADS-2012 on eBay. I have a wide variety of strange oddities, knickknacks, what have you, all for the wonderful, wonderful price of whatever it's going for. You can get a wide variety of things. Remember, one person's trash is another person's treasure. So don't forget to check out my eBay page. It's ARHOADS-2012. And you can also check out my Twitter page. That's right, follow me on Twitter at OtakuRhodes. Or check me out on the official Web Designer 18 Facebook page. Yep, that's right. I'm social, baby. Alright, so it's time to do my how did my week go. It sucked. Like I said, I've been sick. As many of you know, last week I really wasn't feeling that great. And this has just been a cold that has kicked my ass. I'm not even going to lie. I had to work Wednesday and Friday night. So I literally slept almost a good 24 hours. I was in bed. I was sick like you wouldn't believe. Sore throat, scratchy throat, coughing like crazy. And before somebody goes, well, did you take any cold medicine? I have to be careful what I take, which is something we've been trying to drill into my grandfather for the longest time, but he's not grasping the concept. But otherwise, it was an interesting, week. We did watch a movie on New Year's. We watched, what's funny? We actually watched movies pretty much the whole weekend. Last Saturday we watched, and I'm probably going to forget. Last Saturday was Escape Plan. It said Sylvester Stallone, Schwarzenegger movie, the first one, not the sequel. Then Sunday we watched Spaceballs, my personal favorite, a Mel Brooks classic. It's just, I always love that movie. Monday we watched the MASH finale because we found out it was on YouTube and my grandfather never saw it before. I took a nap during it. At least I'm pretty sure I fell asleep during it. I had to have. And on Tuesday, on New Year's, we watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's a John Candy, Steve Martin movie. It's actually pretty good. If you ever get a chance to watch it, I highly recommend it. It's not a bad movie. It's a lot of good comedy in it, and it's interesting. I will say that. But otherwise, yeah, I spent most of my week sick. And I mean like sick as a dog. I felt horrible the whole week. But yeah, that's how my week went. I mean, it sucked. There's not really much you can do when you're sick. You're limited to what you're able to do because your body wants to rest. And I mean, I actually forewent my regular Dr. Pepper at the convenience store for a couple Gatorades they had on sale just to try to help, because I got to drink plenty of fluids, try to get as much rest as I can, because I got sick. Happily, I have at least a good week off now from work because I drew the lucky draw this week, which is ironic because there's 3 members for the department that I work with, and each one of us is basically getting a week off. And the one person, his was last Friday to yesterday, and the other person's was this past Wednesday to this coming Wednesday, and mine was yesterday to next Friday. So I get a lovely week off, and then I start back in mornings. Thank God for morning shift, where I just have to get up and be at work by 4 a.m., but then I'm out of there by 9. So I'm happy with that. It's 5 hours. It's in the morning, which I like, because then that leaves me the entire day when I can do stuff. I'm not asleep for hours on end, wasting an entire day of sleep just to do like 5 hours at night, which sucks. But yeah, like I said, I was sick. I did pick up some stuff though for my channel. I did look into getting a new tablet, which I have to work on getting updated and everything else. And no, I'm not saying that my other one died on me. I was looking for one to replace it because it was starting to give me some issues. I mean, it works, but it's, one of those, I got it heavily used. I knew what I was getting into. But there was that. I got some stuff from my channel. I picked up a new camera, which my mom's so proud of me. She goes that I deserve that. It was time I got myself something nice. So I was kind of happy with it. I mean, I had to buy an SD card for it, but in all honesty, that actually wasn't that bad. And figuring both the cost of the camera and the SD card, it was like under $40, and I'm really happy with that. I can't even begin to tell you how happy that makes me. So yeah, I'm completely content with that. So either way, yeah, so I got some new stuff that I can do now for the channel. I am working on my new content for this coming year. No, I did not get a chance to work on it at all this week. Like I said, I was sick. So yeah, there was that. But anyway, let's get into the podcast and let's get this on, because my voice is, while it's still here, I don't know for how long. I don't want to overstretch. I don't want to overstress it. I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth here and then all of a sudden have my voice go completely out and then I'd be screwed, because not being able to talk for an entire week would suck. I mean, quite royally, it would suck. Okay, so everybody knows my thoughts and opinions on live-action anime adaptations. Live-action characters of anime series and things like that. I hate them. Can't stand them. Think they should burn in hell. And I'm not even going to lie about that, because it pisses me the hell off so much you can't even imagine it. So, imagine my shock and awe at the end of last year, which was on Monday, when an article popped up from Indeed, or on Otaku USA, basically telling everybody that this is how Indeed, an ad, basically envisioned One Piece and its live action. With actual, like real life characters representing the characters from the anime series. So some folks spend their entire lives trying to imagine their favorite anime and manga characters in real life. I don't. I personally would rather not ever spend any time picturing them in real life. I mean, it's not even worth it. While others spend that time trying their best to avoid it. That's me. But no matter which camp you fall into, a job search company, Indeed, has done the heavy lifting in regards to One Piece. And I just want to say this before I go any further. It is abysmal. I mean, if I wouldn't have been sick this week, I would have done a rant video on this in a heartbeat. This is the ugliest thing I have ever seen in my life. And that's saying something. Now, it's no disrespect to the, actors that are portraying the characters. Look, you were handed a bad break here. There's a point in time when you should look at your career and go, do I really want to be known as the person that portrayed this beloved anime character in an ad. No, I don't think I want to. And you should just take that and run. So, they got some of the Straw Hats all on deck for this new Indeed ad campaign that brings them into the real world. The folks behind the makeup and costumes include Takumi Saito as Luffy, Hiroyuki Ikeuchi as Zoro, Rika Izumi as Nami, Daigo of comedy duo Chidori as Usopp, Yosuke Kubozuka as Sanji, and a great frickin' reindeer. It's a giant frickin' reindeer as Chopper. So first off, you don't even have it accurate because Chopper isn't a giant frickin' reindeer unless he's in his one form. So that's not even close to accurate. 1. 2. If you could have just went CGI for that one, you assholes. Just spend the money on CGI and made him look realish with CGI. It was a horrible idea. Well, time to bring your most haunted nightmares, because there's a commercial. I'm not going to watch it. It's in the link in the description. If you want to watch it, be my guest. It's god awful. Oh my god, that's not even worth it. Basically, though, I mean, I'm gonna say this. Luffy doesn't look too bad. Zoro looks pretty bad, unfortunately. Nami looks bad. I mean, not per se, but comparing the anime character to real life, I mean, like I said, Luffy honestly looks to be about the best out of this entire group, and that's the sad part. But yeah, Nami's character doesn't really look that convincing. Usopp's just looks really freaking creepy. I'm not even gonna... It looks like a freaking Ronald McDonald knockoff. Sanji just... Oh, good lord, no. And then you got the giant fucking reindeer. Really? So which reindeer is this, by the way? Is this Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, or Blitzen? Because it's got a blue nose, so sure it's ain't Rudolph. So which one of Santa's reindeer did you mug and drag down for this? That's what I want to know first off. But, I mean, honestly, like I said, the Luffy character does not look bad. Nami, take it or leave it. Might be like second place if I really have to, rank these. Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, and Chopper, forget it. Not even in the top 5. Forget it. And that's what we're limping to the barn with. And this is an Indeed ad. And Indeed does a lot of job placement ads. Like, you can put your resume up on there, and people will see it, and they'll give you, an idea. So, I mean, what the hell was their idea for this? Was this literally the, oh, well, we're going to do this really great idea for an ad, for Indeed, and what we're going to do is simple. It's going to be One Piece. It's the hottest anime series out there right now. Hundreds of other anime series you could choose from. This is just the longest running at this point. But that's what you're going to pick, and you're going to use that as your quote-unquote, well, now that we have this settled, we know what we're doing. No, you don't. Stop while you're ahead. Because, honestly, it was wrong. I'm not even going to lie. It's weird. The pictures are just, it's abysmal. For something like this is the perfect reason fans can look at this and go, this is the greatest thing in the world. Or they can honestly look at this and go, this right here should be the poster child for why live action adaptations suck. Commercial, movie, or other. This right here is the proof of it. And it's all dependent upon how you see it. As far as what I'm concerned with is, like I said, the Luffy character looks good, but you're going to portray some of the other characters as more dark than they should be. While, yes, I understand that there's a reason for that. Yes, the characters do get a little on the dark side. Yes, there is a small, minute way of this and that. But it's a lighthearted story at the end of the day. So, having the characters look like that, honestly, I think it's going to do more harm than good. But truthfully, this is indeed jumping on a bandwagon. And they're jumping on the, you know what? We want to get rid of the NEETs. We want to get rid of the people living in their parents' basements or that are watching anime all the time. And it's another thing that pisses me off is I think that's what they're gearing this towards. It's they want people out of the basements. They want them out of the house. Go get a job. Go work out in the real world. You know, you have to do what your parents did. And they're trying to pull that again. Because a lot of people don't like NEETs. They don't like, the fact that people watch anime. So you're using anime to try to get potential clients, but at the same time, you're telling them to get the hell out. So it's sort of like Mighty Number 9 all over again with the make your enemies cry like an anime fan on prom night. Where you flat out know you're pissing off the fans, but at the same time, you just don't want to up and admit it. Fine. Don't get me wrong, you want to screw the pooch on it, be my guest. This, you could have picked a better anime series, not one that's, the longest running, currently popular. You could have thrown a dart at any anime and made this list and made this commercial. You did not have to choose One Piece. You chose One Piece for a particular reason because it's the longest running series. I guarantee you that is the only reason why. Either that or they backed a buttload of cash. And I look at the person. Either that or they backed a buttload of cash up to Oda's front door, said, we want to use your characters, we want to make them look real life, and we're going to make a freaking commercial. And here's the royalties for it. Because I would have looked at this and said, no way in hell if this would have been something that I would have made. I would have been pissed off that this would have ever even gotten created. And that's saying something. So there is that. But holy crap, this is just horrible. I pity anybody that watched it. I pity anybody that fell for this. I pity the actors. Seriously, you got screwed. I mean, I know it's work. More power to you, but you got owned. I pity you. I really do. But holy hell. Seriously? I mean, I know I can kind of see what you're aiming this towards. And that's one of the things that pisses me off is that you're aiming it towards a niche group of people that you want to basically become non-existent. And that's what pisses me off. But yeah, okay, sure. See how well that goes for you. The Absolutely Completely Random Podcast is taking a very short break. I need to stretch and do a couple other things. I'll be right back. Okay, so Nintendo. Oh, wonderful Nintendo. Yeah, we all know what Nintendo can do and what Nintendo can. Nintendo can put a stop to a horrible game console that's being promoted by a wannabe rapper who's basically drop shipping crap from Alibaba and AliExpress. But on top of that, they can shoot down what fans believe to be canon and what fans create because they're sick and tired of it. So, last year, Nintendo announced that the Switch version of Super Mario Bros. U was featuring a new item called the Super Crown that turns Toadette into a Princess Peach-esque character called Peachette. Fans ran wild with the idea, imagining it on other Mario characters, and fans became obsessed with Bowser wearing the crown, turning him into Bowsette. So much so that there was like a little comic made where Mario and Bowser decide, hey, we're going to get even with Princess Peach. Screw her ass. She dumped us both. And they went completely to town on it. Well, according to the website for new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, only Toadette can wear the Super Crown. So, yeah, making all images of other characters wearing the crown officially not approved by Nintendo. The description is inexplicably apologizes to Luigi, which is a whole new layer of trolling Bowsette fans. I mean, okay. So apparently, here's the words from the thing. So apparently, Super Crown. When Toadette finds one of these, she can transform into the super-powered Peachette. Sorry, Luigi, only Toadette can use this item. So there's another, little screw you to the fans' middle finger, as it were. I think they mostly did this for 3 reasons. 1, they don't like the idea of fans taking their property and running wild with it. And the Bowsette thing, there was a Bowsette. The shit was just going nuts. It was all over DeviantArt, all over Twitter, Facebook, you name it. It was just going batshit crazy. So that's theory number 1. At least that I can see why they would finally just put an end to this. Like, you know what? We're done with this bullshit. Here's the honest to God. This is what it is. Suck it up, people. Okay? Because fans were drawing Bowsette like extremely, provocative. They were getting a little too racy with it, like a little NSFW, not safe for work stuff. Kids were drawing, her in schools. Nintendo was getting massive slack and backlash for this. And all of a sudden it's like, nope, no, we're done. Screw this shit. Here's the deal. Super Crown only can be used by Toadette. Nobody else can use this thing. We are done with this whole Bowsette bullshit. Okay? So, I mean, the fans aren't happy about this. I guarantee you that. The purpose of fandom is to explore non-canonical ideas. Or non-canonical ideas. Like, what would happen if Bowser suddenly turned into your large wife? Or what would happen if Luigi would finally, get his hands on an item that could make him useful in a game? And, I mean, I understand the whole point that Nintendo wants to basically 100%, we don't want this crap anymore. We don't want this. I get it. Because the thing is, fans were going too wild with this. Nobody's going to, deny that what you did was a bad idea. What we're denying is the fact that you basically came right out and said, look, Bowsette isn't canon, Bowsette isn't canon, only Toadette can use this item, that is it. This was basically, if I want to sum this up, this entire event was basically, here's an item, no information is given to you about it, other than a vague description at first, and it's basically like a whole bunch of elementary school kids just running wild with it. It's like, oh, cool. Look, I have this really cool item. I don't know what it does. Let's create a canon of lore for it. Let's come up with our own ideas of what it does and theorize what it could do and then just run off of that. Hey, how about we give it to Bowser? Yeah, that sounds good. How about we give it to Boo? That sounds good. Let's give one to Luigi. Sure, what the hell? And just run with that idea. Then, all of a sudden, it basically becomes this whole Nintendo's getting backlash. They don't like the idea, and they're looking at this like, okay, we should have explained this to them from the start, which, yes, if in all honesty, you could have foreseen this coming. You could have easily explained it from the start. Look, this is not how it goes. But I think they're mostly pissed because there are videos of people like hacking or modifying some of the games, making Bowsette become a character. I think Nintendo's like, you know what, this is bullshit, we're done with this, because you're messing with our stuff, and you don't fuck with Nintendo and live to tell the tale. I mean, look at Soulja Boy. I think he's going to learn that lesson the hard way. You don't mess with Nintendo and live to tell the tale. But with this, honestly, it was a stupid thing to begin with. If Nintendo would have just left it alone, and I'm going to be honest with this, Nintendo had two options with this. All they had to do was basically leave it alone, and it would have died off on its own. Or just let it run its course and roll with it. Is it something that fans are going nuts for? Yes. Should we market this? May not be a bad idea. Why? Well, let's see. If we make items for it, we include characters of it, DLC and stuff like that, that's extra money in our pockets. Not a bad idea. Versus, we're not dealing with this shit anymore. Here's the official thing for it. This is what it does. Everybody can kiss off. That's basically what it feels like. It sucks. So, this is basically, the screw you that Nintendo's giving all the fans because, hey, as much as we liked your idea and we enjoy what you did, we don't like how you did it. Fine, just tell them that you didn't like it. But don't just up and shoot down their creativity by going, this can only be used by this. It's basically Pokemon all over again with the move sets. Well, how can a freaking, creature that has wings and basically like scythes and sickles on its arms not use cut or fly? How can a small bird fly a human-sized person all over a map? Logic can get thrown out the window with video games, Nintendo. You easily know this. When you have a character that can jump on top of things, squish them. That is where you are officially defying logic. But, yeah, so Nintendo's basically said Bowsette is not canon. This is basically, I want to say, their way of going, you know what, we're done with the whole Bowsette thing. Please stop bitching about it. Please stop doing it. They would just want to see it done and killed. And in all honesty, while it sucks, and I'm not going to deny this, what they could have done, they could have handled this a little more tastefully. They could have just did it as a look, it can and can't be used by certain characters, and then just let it out slowly as to which characters can't use it. Not, oh, well, only this character can use it. That's where you screwed yourselves over, because now the fans aren't going to want to play the game. They're not going to care about this item now anymore because, well, there goes our fan fictions, there goes our, drawings, there goes our neat little, the little world that we created to give ourselves a little more entertainment and a little more joy after we beat the crap out of your game. So it's basically creativity getting squashed again by Nintendo. Wonderful people at Nintendo, I'm telling you. Wonderful, wonderful people. Holy crap. But yep. So that just sucks, but I mean, what do you expect? It's Nintendo. I mean, be happy they didn't tell you to go sit and spin.
The Absolutely Completely Random podcast is brought to you by electricity. Because without it, I wouldn't be able to record anything on my laptop because my battery requires it in order to run and it needs electricity to recharge. Yeah, I know. But I can't get a water wheel in my room.
Despite the fact that it's 2019, there actually is something that turned 20 years old this year. That's right, believe it or not, Ed, Edd n Eddy. That old cartoon from Cartoon Network actually turned 20 years old this year. Ironically, on January 4th, 1999 was its original debut. 20 years later, holy crap, it's still a fan favorite. Is it one that I think deserves a little better treatment nowadays? Yeah, and honestly, if they would remake this one, I wouldn't be pissed off about it. Because it was always designed and always marketed as a comedy. It wasn't, marketed as a, oh, this is going to be a serious show. While it did touch on some heartstrings, like the episode when Rolf had he was homesick for his home country, and the Eds basically helped by pretending that the cul-de-sac was then his home country to make him feel better. While, yes, they were trying to scam him, but I think, honestly, deep down, the sentiment was the fact that they were really just trying to help him and be nice. And it shows. Just goes to say something. So, this year, 20th anniversaries, they're very rare. But did Cartoon Network do anything for this? Nothing. Cartoon Network decided to completely screw over and not even bother touching Ed, Edd, and Eddy for a 20th anniversary because I guess, well, we have other things to do. Oh, really? So what exactly tops a 20th anniversary for a series that literally was one of the best shows you ever had on your entire network? At the time, mind you, it basically was the only show you could have, at the time that wasn't garbage. And I mean complete and total garbage. Because back in 1999, they were starting to distance themselves further and further away from the original content that the channel had when it originally started. But at the same time, they were also getting into more newer stuff. So Ed, Edd, and Eddy was something that was definitely interesting, and so many other things included. Now, is it a good thing or a bad thing that they didn't bother to do something special for the 20th anniversary? No, I think that's kind of horrible. They could have at least did like a little shout out. They included Ed, Edd, and Eddy in that crossover Nexus thing that they did with OKKO, Teen Titans Go, Steven Universe, and their current shows. The ones that nobody gives a rat's ass about at this point. Even Steven Universe is starting to fail by the wayside because of Cartoon Network's inadequacies to basically allow it to be on the air. So, yeah, they include it for that, but they don't even give it a proper, 20th anniversary. Show it for like a marathon. It's not that difficult. Put it up for an entire marathon. Like, hey, today's the Ed, Edd, and Eddy's anniversary. So for 24 hours, we're showing you classic Ed, Edd, and Eddy episodes. That's right. They couldn't have done something like that because, no, that would take away too much time for our constant, crap programming that we have to come out with. What constant crap programming are we talking about? Well, let's see. You have, what is it? Oh God, what's some of the crap that are coming out? Oh, Teen Titans Go. Well, let's see. You still have Steven Universe, but from how much longer is the $1 million question here at this point. OKKO, which I've heard good things about. We Bear Bears. I think you might have canceled that. What do you even have anymore? You don't have much of anything. You're limping to the barn with Teen Titans Go. You lost Pokemon. You lost everything that's good about your channel, and yet you're still on the air somehow. So explain that one to me. How you're still on the air when you've lost 90% of what made you you. There's nothing out there that can help you at this point. At least nothing that I can think of. So, this is just, I don't know. But anyway, Ed, Edd, and Eddy was a good show. I always liked it. It was an interesting program. It broke the fourth wall, physics, logic, everything. It made physics its bitch. Especially the one episode, it literally bent physics over and said, take it. And it did it. Then we found out it was like a hallucination type deal. But either way, they broke the laws of physics. They broke the fourth wall. That show had everything that was really good. But truth be told, it wasn't bad, but it was something that I really wish they would have given much better, time to. Seriously. it's just horrible that they didn't even give this show a decent anniversary thing. I mean, they would give an anniversary to anything else, but no, not a damn thing do they get for this, or this. And that's what pisses me off. Because that just hurts. It's like, well, there was a really cool show that is still loved today by fans that you could have easily had on for an entire day as a symbol, hey, 20th anniversary, remember the good days. But no, you just decided to screw it. Well, I'm sorry that the Eds didn't get the proper attention that they deserve, but happy belated birthday, Ed, and Eddie. 20 years old. One more year, you finally get to buy yourself some beer. In all honesty, for how messed up your lives probably were, living in the cul-de-sac and doing all the stupid shit you did, I wouldn't doubt it. Having to avoid the Canker sisters, you probably need some demons repossessed, and some demons basically purged from your mind. So yeah, one more year and I'll buy you a beer. I don't even drink, I'll just buy you a beer. Because, Ed, and Eddie was a good show. It honestly was. And it's one that I recommend checking out. But 20 years old, come on. That's amazing.
You're listening to the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. The only podcast where I can talk for an entire hour and nobody ever tells me to shut up. You people are out there, right? Welcome to the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. Well, okay, you're already listening to the podcast if you're hearing me. But anyway, the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast is a podcast that I put up here every Sunday on YouTube, where I talk about topics and articles that I find throughout the entire week. So, if you like what you hear, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you're brought up to date with all my videos, including Andrew Rants and Andrew's Theories. I also do some reviews from time to time, and that's pretty much it. But anyway, let me know, and don't forget to hit that lovely subscribe button.
Alright, so Kingdom Hearts 3 is back in the news again. We're less than, 24 days till the release here in the US. And, we've had the leak that happened last year. Leaked out, I don't know if, like I said, I didn't know if it was the whole game that got leaked, or if it was certain parts of the game that got leaked. But either way, you had this happen. Well, fans of the series know how brutal the wait has been. This thing has... They've been teasing this for years. Hell, Kingdom Hearts 2 came out so long ago. We've had so many games in between. You've had 358 Days Over 2, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, those crappy mobile games, everything you could imagine. Those have all come out. And more and more, stuff has happened. But remember, the 29th, it's still locked in for a January 29th launch. No signs of a last-minute pushback. Breathe a sigh of relief here, people. It's almost over. It's almost over. That's what co-director Tai Yasui did in an interview this week. So he took a deep breath and just reflected on this journey. He also discussed the development and the chief reason behind this massive delay. So why did it take so long for us to finally get Kingdom Hearts 3? Well, according to Tai Yasui, one of the key contributors to the delay was the fact that they switched over to a new engine during the game's development. And he was quoted as saying this: one of the main factors was the decision to switch the game engine to develop the game. Our current engine is great in terms of developing a high-end AAA title, but because there was a change in technology and workflows, it took some time for the team to adapt and adjust, which is understandable. I'm not gonna, We recently just got a new coffee maker here at home, so it's like a bit of a learning curve. Anytime you get something new, be it a program, a piece of hardware, a piece of tech, there's always a massive learning curve. Unless you know how it works from the start, there's always a learning curve with all of it. You're always going to have that learning curve because it's basically, here's basically where you are, and then there's always that learning curve till you can be brought up to speed of, okay, now I know how this thing works, at least the bare essentials of it. But Yasui goes on to, and I do apologize, by the way, if I'm mispronouncing your name. You went on to discuss the design elements and mechanics, the decision-making process behind choosing Disney worlds, his general experience working on the sequel, and much more. You can read the full article. There's a link in the There's a link in the article, which is in the description, which is linked in the description below. Try not to make him and the rest of the team feel too bad about making you wait. But on that topic, here's a heartwarming apology from the co-director. So this is, and I quote here, "I'm truly sorry to have kept everyone waiting for so long. It took a while, but we really wanted to make sure the game met everyone's expectations. I hope more than I've hoped for anything else in my 20 years of making games that you all enjoy it." I mean, the game's been a massive success. I mean, the first one was complete and total crap. I couldn't even get past Hollow Bastion. That was where I just quit. I stopped playing it. My very first one was Chain of Memories, and years later, when I finally got a PS2, that's when I got the original, and I couldn't get past Hollow Bastion. Then I get the second one, and I beat the second one hands down because I got the strategy guide for it. So, the games are fun. Each one of them connects to lore. It's really interesting. There's more and more stuff to do, more and more stuff to understand. It's an interesting and wonderful game. Then the process for this, the fact that it's taken it so long, is just wonderfully done. And the fact that it's been years in the making. I mean, nobody's going to argue that it was a bad thing, but good stuff comes to those who wait. Nobody's going to argue that in any way, shape, or form. Because I can literally go, hey, I'm going to come out with something cool in 5 years. And you're going to be anticipating it. Because you're going to want to know, what is it he's coming out with? What could possibly be so cool that he was to announce it 5 years in advance? And 5 years later, I just come out with it and boom, blows you all away. And, I mean, we've seen teaser trailers. We've seen, like, some gameplay footage. So we know what this game's bringing to the table. The graphics look amazing. The worlds look impressive. The story is there. Everything about Kingdom Hearts is basically here in one fell swoop. It's wonderful. The question then that you have to ask is this: is it going to live up to the hype? Well, taking the fact that this game has literally been in development hell for the last how many years, I would go with, yeah, it's probably going to. I mean, the fans are looking forward to it. So long as it's not going to have like any major day one bugs or glitches on like the discs and stuff like that, I don't see it possibly having any problems. I mean, it's going to be a huge success story. But on everything else, yeah, you're always going to run that risk of, well, is it going to be good? Is it going to suck? What's going to happen? Is it going to be worth the time and effort that everybody's putting into, that they put in to make it and stuff like that? You can never answer that question prior to the game coming out. I mean, every game creator, even movie directors and producers, never know that prior to the movie or the game coming out. You're always wondering, is it going to be good? Is it going to meet up expectations, or is it going to suck? And then in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, it's going to suck, fine, okay, we're screwed, we're boned, that's the end of it. Whereas in actuality, oh my god, it was really good, fans loved it and everything else. Or, well, fans hated it, I was right, we're screwed, we're boned, that's the end of us. You can't answer any of that or know any of that until it actually happens. And whether or not it happens is basically up in the air at this point. And like I said, while it's interesting, and I want to first off stress that, it is interesting. I love the fact that they've finally come out with it. I love the fact that we're getting this game after so many years. I mostly just love the fact that this is a game that has been teased for so long based on a franchise that's really good that honestly, I don't see them screwing this thing up. I mean, they would have to do a really piss poor job of marketing the crap out of this, of screwing the pooch on this, for this thing to not be a success. I mean, fans are chomping at the bit to get their hands on it. There's a pre-order collection. Everything's going in their favor. So long as they don't pull a Fallout 76 on us, it'll be fine. And to the best of my knowledge, this isn't going to be online or anything, so that's cool. But now with the hint of, hey, there's a new engine in this. You know, we're not using the same game engine that we've used for the other games. This is a brand new game engine. That entices it even more, because then they kind of want to, now players are going to want to know, well, now how is this going to stack up to other games that I've played? Is this going to be something similar to, like, let's say, Arkham Knight? Or is this going to be something similar to like a Mario game or something? You know, is this going to be like a newer style engine based off of those things, but redone in a different way? You don't know yet until the game comes out. And that's the interesting part. So all those are constantly giving you the mystery and the underlying theme. So yeah, like I said, I don't see this thing tanking. If this thing tanks, it's going to be something bad will really have had to have happened for this thing to tank. I don't see that happening in any way, shape, or form. But otherwise, this looks like it's going to be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to seeing videos on YouTube of it. I can't wait to see people playing it, because Kingdom Hearts has been a fun game series. I've liked, playing the games that I did play, watching the ones that I can't play. They all look really interesting. They all look cool. Totally recommend the series. I mean, everybody, I think, anybody who's played it already, highly worth it. Check it out. It's really cool. But yeah, cannot argue with this. I mean, if it's a new engine, that's going to be kick-ass, because that just means so much new shit is coming down the road for this game. It's just going to be a success. I don't see it tanking. It's 29th of this month's coming out on a Tuesday. I cannot wait to see everybody's like lined up. I mean, because I got to do inventory that night before where I work at. So knowing my luck, I'm going to be driving home, and there's going to be people lined up outside Best Buy. As I'm pulling onto the bypass and pulling onto the highway, there's going to be people lined up at the local Best Buy, probably camping out overnight just to get their hands on this game. I wouldn't doubt it. Highly recommend it. I mean, this thing looks so cool. The trailer looked amazing. I was awestruck by the trailer. I was awestruck by the graphics. Toy Story World, Monsters, Inc., all these newer worlds that we finally get some new flavors into this thing instead of the same stale one that we had for 2 games. Like two console games like this. Not the handheld consoles, but 2 regular consoles. We had stale worlds where it was the same. Basically, it was like the same worlds with like 1 new one thrown in and I think 1 removed. But this time it's whole new worlds. It's a beautiful thing. It honestly is. Can't argue with it. Wonderful idea. Roll with it. It can't wait for it. I really can't. It's freaking amazing.
This is Professor Sherman T. Clump, and you're listening to the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast, only on YouTube. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta get back to the kitchen and get back to my sandwich. It's a very special sandwich. If you're looking for collectibles, oddities, things you just don't ever see anywhere else, or that you want to have for conversation starters, check out A Rhodes 2012 on eBay. I've got a tremendous amount of stuff. And, well, I'm A Rhodes 2012. I'm also Andrew Rhodes, the host of the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast, Andrew Rants and Andrew's Theories, here on YouTube. So make sure you check out A Rhodes 2012 on eBay for all your trading card needs. And other oddities, too. You never know. I might have something that might just interest you.
Alrighty, everybody, that's going to do it this week for the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. I'm sorry if this seemed phoned in. Like I said, I'm still under the weather. My throat's still bugging me. My voice is still not fully back yet. I'm really trying to get better. I really am. There's only so much I can do. But seriously, I really do apologize if this week seemed phoned in. But that being said, it's time once again for the Q&A. That's right, the Q&A video is coming this month. Now, when is it coming this month? I hear you asking. Well, I already know one night that I have to work this month, so I can't do it that night. But I do smell a possible idea coming. Try to have all of your questions submitted by Saturday, January 26th at midnight. That's right, midnight. On January 26th, please have all of your questions submitted. I'm not going to go Eastern Standard Time this time because there might be people who live on the West Coast and another country. Midnight. Okay, when it hits midnight and it turns to the 27th, questions have to be submitted, okay? By then. So that's 3 weeks away. Well, actually less because this goes up on a Sunday. So either way, you got about 3 weeks to think of some questions and submit them. Now, here's some rules for this one. And I really want to thank Cap, my one viewer / fan, because how you do it gave me a good idea. If you want to leave a question in the comments, please put parentheses around it with the words Q, the ampersand sign, and A. That way I'll know that it's for the Q&A video and I won't answer it right away. Without that, I'll just answer it right away. So there is that. Otherwise, looking forward to your questions. So ways you can submit them. Discussion section here on my YouTube channel. If you want to drop them in the comments of my videos, make sure you add the parentheses Q and A. Send them to me via Twitter. Send them via the Facebook page for Web Designer 18. Send them to me via the podcast email, which is acrpodcast@gmail.com. All lowercase letters, by the way. So you can submit all those. Those are the ways you can submit your questions, and I'm looking forward to doing the next Q&A video. Look forward to an announcement video for when I'll be starting one of my 2 new series in February. I will be fixing up and finalizing a lot of the stuff in the coming weeks, so I can start that sometime in February. I will have an announcement video as to when. Like I said, a lot of this stuff I was going to do this week, but like I said, this cold just kicked my ass, and it just knocked me right on my ass. So there is that. But either way, that's what I got for you. That's where we're headed. So, that's pretty much it this week for the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. I'm Andrew Rhodes. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to 2019. Hopefully it's a lot better than 2018 went. Hopefully we don't lose any good celebrities this year like we lost last year. I'm still heartbroken that Stan Lee passed away yet. It's just a pain that's never going to go away. He was a legend, and the legend, you always think legends will never die, and he just... I'm still heartbroken by that loss. So there's that. But hopefully 2019 is not as bad as 2018. Hopefully everything works out well for everybody. Here's hoping that we get more and more fun together. Here's hoping for more videos. Here's hoping that maybe, just maybe, my channel will finally become popular. Well, okay, I can dream. I know that. I can dream. But anyway, thank you all for tuning into the podcast this week. And until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes. Bye, everybody. And I'll catch you all next week.